It's time for the new Heroes banner of 2024, and I don't know what we're going to be getting, if it's going to be rearmed, attuned, or like maybe a double. Let's just jump in and find out. Okay, our first hero is, I have no idea. Okay, so let's start off with Tina's preference weapon, Thief. And what this essentially does is you get the Dazzling Staff effect, you get Slaying, and at start of turn, she's going to grant the bonus effects active on the foe with the bonus effects to herself and allies within 2 spaces, and then she neutralizes the bonus effects active on that foe through their turn. So this is already extremely powerful. What this essentially does, right? Let's say you have like a raid boss on the enemy team and you're stacking like bonus doubler and like adaptive damage and a few and all these different effects, right? She's gonna go whoop, steal all those things, give them to herself and all her allies. This is an insane effect, absolutely ridiculous. This is like hard countering all the bonus stacking that's currently happening in the meta, which is just kind of insane. And I don't know if I actually like this. I think this is kind of just like cheap. Like it kind of lives up to its name of Thief. It's also going to inflict -4 to all stats in a 3-row, 3-column center on herself, and then she'll also get attack and speed +6 during combat, and she'll get true damage equal to the number of bonus effects active on herself times 5, up to a max of 20 true damage. And so here we have a very interesting new type of support unit where she's essentially just stealing effects from the foes and then granting them to her allies. Now this can be extremely powerful, obviously, right? There's a lot of big bonus effects out there right now. Like I mentioned earlier with like the bonus doubler, grand strategy, all these massive amount of effects coming out, damage reduction halving, right? There's so much. So this can be very, very powerful, but at the same time, if the opponent isn't really playing that many bonus effects, then this won't be all that good. So I think this can be absolutely insane, but it's going to really depend on what you're up against. Though at the current time, bonuses are extremely like prevalent, so I could see this just being really, really good. We then have Nudge and then Holy Pressure. Then we have Attack Speed Ideal 4 and a new B skill, Wrathful Tempo. And essentially what this does is the Wrathful Staff effect. You also get speed and res -4 on the foe, and then you get a full tempo effect. So this is a nice like little power up, which are going to make healers be able to do a bit more damage, right? Allow them to proc their specials more consistently. Once again though, the healers are still not going to be as good as other nukes just because they don't have like easy access to damage reduction halving or piercing. They have to rely on Legendary Camilla at this moment, so that is something to consider. But she also has Infantry Pulse 4, which is really, really nice. Overall, when it comes to roles, what does Tina want to do? Tina is absolutely going to be a support nuke. Those are her 2 things she's going to be doing. And when it comes to the game modes, I can see her being used in like Aether Raid's defense as well as Summoner duels. Now in Aether Raid's defense, she's going to work really well against teams where you are trying to like Omni tank or you're trying to like stack bonuses on your like save unit, right? And her being able to just steal all those and then give it to your defense is going to make your defense way stronger. But more importantly, it just makes it so that the opponent really can't use that type of strategy effectively on Aether Raid's offense. And so I think she can work really well there. She's also going to be offering the Infantry Pulse support, which means that she can like pump all the cooldowns down, so you could like, make the rest of your team stronger there as well. When it comes to SD, I think that she can be used. I don't know how prevalent she will be. I can see her being used in specific like seasons, essentially seasons where like you're going to run into raid bosses. So like a Myriad season where you get the distant counter and plus all those stats, where raid bosses are really popular, or like on maps where raid bosses are really popular. And I can see her being used just to deny that entire team and strategy. So I think that is definitely a possibility. Very interesting unit overall. Let's jump on to the next one. Up next is another character I don't know. Safy comes with a new preference weapon, Repair. What this essentially does is you get Wrathful Staff, you get Slaying as well, and at start of turn she's going to neutralize any penalty on herself and allies within 2 spaces. She'll also heal 20 HP to those units as well, and then she'll grant +4 to all stats to all allies within 2 spaces of herself during combat. And at start of combat, if her HP is greater than or equal to 25%, she'll get +5 to all stats during combat, and she'll get a guaranteed follow-up attack. Okay, when it comes to this preference weapon, I'm honestly not too impressed. This is essentially like an odd or even recovery effect in the weapon, but it's every turn, right? And then you're also just going to get like some stat bonuses and some like damage. Honestly, compared to like Tina, this is like pretty underwhelming. And because of that, there's not much I could see her being used for. She also introduces a new ploy 3 skill, Attack Speed Ploy 3, which is going to be the same as the other ones, just the speed variant. So that is going to be nice for certain units who want that. But overall, I think this unit isn't looking too hot. When it comes to roles, she just wants to play as support. Obviously, that's what she's going to be doing best. She really doesn't have the firepower to like act as a nuke like Tina does. And so when it comes to the game modes, I really don't see many game modes you'll be using this unit in. You could try to use her like an Aether Raid's offense if you really need a ton of healing at the start of turn, or if you just need to neutralize penalties. But overall, I just don't think this is all that great, and I don't really see Safy being used ever. Okay, let's move on to our next unit, probably the D mode. Okay, we have Lara as our dancer, I'm guessing, right? So we have a red dagger infantry Okay, this is nice. So essentially our demote here is going to be a dagger dancer, and she's infantry, so that's gonna be really nice for Thracia. I was just talking to Tactic about this actually, and we really don't have that many dancers for Thracia. I think it's like Dancer Reinhardt and that's it. So we have like Clever Dagger Plus here, which is a new inheritable dagger. And what this is going to do is going to give you attack speed +5, and then you're going to get 30% damage reduction against the foe's first attack. Honestly, not much to write home about here either. This is okay, but it's definitely not the dagger you're going to be going for. The arcane dagger is way better than this, like it's not even close. The cool thing though is that we just have another dancer in Thracia, as well as having more fodder for Rock Slide Dance 2, which just makes it a little bit easier to inherit Rock Slide Dance 3 from like a peony or something like that. So overall, not bad, but nothing really special. Okay, let's move on to our final unit of the banner. The final unit of the banner. Okay, so we have a rearmed hero, so no attuned here, or ascended. And it's Reinhardt. Okay, Reinhardt's back. Oh man, magic is broken, must be freaking out. Ooh, so I like this art. This art's really unique. Like it looks like the shading, everything looks really nice. But we're going back to OG Reinhardt, right? This is a blue tome Cav. What is OG Reinhardt gonna do? This is like the rebirth of Reinhardt meta, right? Come on. Okay, let's start at the top with the new Arcane Tome, Arcane Thunder. Okay, and essentially what this is the fast blue tome we've been waiting for. This has Slang, and then if your HP is greater than or equal to 25%, you're gonna get +5 to all stats. You're gonna get Special Acceleration, which is really nice. You're also gonna get a dull speed and resistance effect. And then lastly, if your speed is greater than the foe's speed, you're gonna get full no follow-up. Overall, this is a pretty strong arcane tome. It's gonna allow you to go in and do pretty much the things you want to do, right? You get no follow-up, so it's gonna be really good for like the units who typically can't get that as easily. And then also you're gonna get special acceleration, so you're gonna be able to go in and ensure that you can get off some bigger specials. Pretty solid overall arcane tome. And if you're looking for a blue tome for a fast unit, this is probably the better one to choose. We then have a new preference A skill, Thunder's Fist. And what this is going to do is if his HP is greater than or equal to 25%, you're going to get +7 to all stats during combat. You're going to get 15% true damage based off your attack. And then also, if you initiate combat, you're going to reduce damage from the foe's first attack by 50%. And if the number of spaces from unit start position to end position is greater than or equal to 2, you get a Brave effect. Overall, this is a decent preference skill. I don't think this is like actually absurd by any means. The +7 to all stats is really solid, and some true damage is good, but does not work with AoEs notably. And then the 50% damage reduction is also good, but at the same time, it's not anywhere near as good as something like as Kvaser, right? Who gets 70% on both phases. Like you don't even have to initiate combat. So it's kind of a downgrade there. And then the Brave effect is very nice, but you have to move at least 2 spaces, right? To get that. So that's kind of a big deal. Because that means that like you really have to have Reinhardt moving around. And that's gonna not always be the case. A lot of times you will be able to just activate this, but I wish it was just like an easier condition or like a more crazy effect for that condition. Overall, it's solid, but it's not amazing by any means. Okay, but we also have a new Far Trace 4 effect. And essentially what this is going to do is going to give you Canto remaining minimum of 1. You're also going to inflict speed and res -4 on the foe during combat, and you're going to get 7 true damage even when using an AoE special. So this is pretty powerful. One of the big problems with Far Trace currently was that like a lot of times you just wouldn't get movement from it at all. But with this one, you're always going to get at least 1. So this means that you can go in, you can hit something, and always get some kind of outright. Now, obviously, Cancel Control will still shut this down, but this is a very solid upgrade. And we've seen this on a lot of other ranged units like Legendary Camilla and a lot of other ones that have been recently coming out, even New Year's Safe there, where they have Canto 1. And it really allows them to have a lot more flexibility with their positioning. So I think this is overall a very big upgrade. Okay, so when it comes to roles, what does Reinhardt really want to do? It's pretty obvious. He wants to be a nuke. That is 100% what he's completely built to do. He just wants to go in and kill things. Now, when it comes to game modes, where is Reinhardt really going to show up? I think if he shows up anywhere, it would be Eat the Raid's defense. That's definitely the mode he's going to work the best in. You can put him on like a cav line, and that could pretty much guarantee that he will get his Brave effect all the time. But other than that, I really don't see him being used anywhere else. Honestly, like his kit is good, but it's not like amazing by any means. The Arcane Tome is solid, and the preference skill is solid, but we're in a meta of just like insane power creep right now, and this is definitely not up to the same standard of power in my opinion. So I think he'll be overall a cool unit. Like if you're a big Reinhardt fan, definitely pick him up, or if you're looking for the Arcane Tome or some of this fodder, there's a good reason to pick him up as well. But other than that, I just don't see him being used in like anything other than Eat the Raid's defense. I don't think he's powerful enough for like Eat the Raid's offense, like for a hit and run strat, or an SD where it's like ultra competitive, right? Okay, let's move on to the final part of the video, should you pull? Okay, so when it comes to should you pull, the pros are that we have a really nice arcane tome here for any like speedy blue tomes, which is really big. We also have some really solid fodder in the new trace skill, as well as some other skills there. And I think Tina actually has the potential to be really cool. And I think that if you are a big E3H defense like Fnatic, or if you just want to like have every option available in SD, then Tina could definitely be worth picking up. But other than that, there's not too much going for this banner. When it comes to cons, we have quite a few. We still have the Winter banner active, which is like one of the best banners to ever exist. We have the New Year's banner where Duo Sather is just completely and absurdly broken. This unit is just completely swept the SD meta. And then we even have the new like Legendary Mythic banner coming at the end of the month, as well as the anniversary coming at the beginning of February. So there's just so much stuff coming up. Unless these are like your favorite units, I would absolutely not pull on this banner. I think this is like one of the easiest skip banners we've ever had. And if you aren't a big fan, just skip it. But now I'd love to hear from you. What do you think of this banner? Are you going to be pulling? Are these one of your favorites? Or do you just really need the arcane blue tone? Either way, I'd love to hear about it, so make sure to drop a comment down below. And as always, I'd like to thank all my members for their constant support. This has been Oblivion. I'll catch you all later.